Hello guys, I'm here, wanting to talk about the Crankin Rap, Rapala's Crankin Rap. Now, I only have two of them right now. I've had four of them overall. Um, I've had two different sizes. This right here is their CRR05. Now they do have a couple different models. The first one, which is the only one I've had, the only one I actually see any need for, is the square bill one. They have three models that actually are almost like a dives too, like almost like the Rapala DT series. Have the same kind of body design, so that's probably the only difference. But to me, I like the DT series enough that I'm not gonna go out and get these ones specifically to dive at different depths. So I do like the square bill model though. Now, again, like I said, I have two of them right now. I've had multiple more. I've had one of the CRR03s. And the only difference between that is that the body length is 2 inches, where this one is 2.5. Also, the weight on the smaller one is 3/8, where this one's 1/2. And the running depth for the CRR03 is 2 to 3 feet, where this one is 4 to 5. Personally, to me, the smaller one just seemed a little bit too small, but that's just me. But I had the same designs as this, so we can go on knowing that they're pretty much identical other than the size. So I got two colors at the moment. This one right here is a shad, which is, it's also like a clear shad, but that is their shad. I really like this one. I've had it for a really long time. I've had it for probably 2 to 3 years, and used it extensively. This one right here is the olive green craw. Yeah, olive green craw. I just got it a couple weeks ago. One of the local lakes out here, they started biting on some darker color crankbaits, such as the KVD, this kind of like a brim color. Also, they were going after some green pumpkin soft plastic, so I wanted to get a little bit of a darker crankbait. I love these Crankin Raps. I love the way that they act. Their action is amazing. They're so durable, and they don't normally get caught up in just in anything. But they're very, you can use them in many different ways. Both of these are wide enough that if you slowly crank it, you can kind of get it to use it as a wake bait. But also, as a Rapala lure, it is plastic, where the majority of them, at least the majority of them, used to be balsa. I know all the DT series is balsa. You know, it's very durable. It's going to last you a long time, which is also really good. Now, one thing that you'll see that is really different about these Crankin Raps, if you look at the bill is at an angle, and the only thing I can see that being really good for, or why they did that, is to get it down at a deeper depth quicker. Now, it only runs 4 to 5 feet, but with a lot of the square bills that I have that run 4 to 5 feet, you're looking at just a little bit of a bigger bill, goes out a little bit farther from the crankbait. So, you know, maybe they wanted to get it down there a little bit quicker and a little bit easier with minimal effort, which, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that. I haven't noticed like more hang-ups because of that, so you know, I don't mind whatever they like to do. It's a little bit unique, which is kind of cool. Another thing is that it has a wide profile, which I really like. You know, some of the crankbaits, they're not too wide of a profile, but this one has a pretty good profile. Has their 3D eyes right here, and you can actually see they actually made almost like a fish's lip right there above the actual bill. Really good designs on this one, and the majority of them really. Now this one you're going to see it a little bit better. They have a scale design, which is really cool. They have a realistic fin design as well. And one thing that a lot of people, or a lot of crankbaits don't do, you can see this tail actually extends out a little bit farther than the actual hook. Excuse me. So, and that is there to help its action. That's why, one reason why it has a very unique action. Kind of wobble side to side a little bit more than another crankbait would. But now this one right here, like I said, I've had it for a while. This dot on this one side is, I wouldn't say chipping, but the paint's starting to go. But for how much I've used this and how much of it stayed on my rod, possibly rubbing up against my rod, I think that the way that they've held up is great. Now they do not have the crazy action whenever you stop them, like a lot of the balsa Rapala ones do have, such as these, such as the DTs, any of the DTs, any of the balsa ones, which I know that they're Rapala is now making a balsa extreme model of certain lures. But with that being said, I do love the action of these guys. You catch a lot of fish on them. This one actually, interesting enough, I've caught a couple fish with it casted in out there in really clear water, mind you, and let it sit for a little bit almost, actually. And I found that out whenever I was taking out a bird's nest. Let it sit a little bit, and I had fish jumping on it just whenever it sat there. Maybe it was the profile, maybe it was the color. I don't know. I've never really had that happen. Of course, I've never really, let a lure like this sit out there too often. So, but anyways, that's my review. I really love these crankbaits, as I've said a lot. They're very durable. I have not changed the hooks on any of them, on these ones now. I'm not too big into changing the hooks out. I do on some whenever I know that they're not good quality at all. But Rapala has decent ones. They're a black nickel coating, I believe. And I've never had an issue on a, I guess what you'd say, a normal bass that I've caught bending out the hook. I've bent out the hook a couple times on some of the DTs whenever I hooked into a really good fish, but with all these treble hooks, I don't see there's really a reason to be too terribly worried about losing a fish because one part of the treble hook bends out a little bit. There's a chance, and I'm not a tournament fisherman. I don't have the money. I'm in college. I don't have the money to buy hooks and then change them all out. So I barely have enough money to have the lures that I do have. But really good quality stuff. Hey guys, before I forget, I just want to mention what rod and reel and line combo I throw this on. Now, with any crankbaits, you're going to want a medium casting, sometimes a medium heavy, but majority of the time medium casting, and depending on what you want to do with it, a fast, mod fast, or moderate action rod. So, with these ones, right now I throw them on a medium casting fast action rod. Now the reason why I throw them on a fast action rod, and the reason why I got a fast action rod for my crankbait rod, is because all around that is a very good rod. You can use it for spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, many things. And I just wanted to get a rod as my second bait caster combo, which I got pretty much beginning of this last year. I wanted one that I can throw a lot of things on. Also, it will handle the heavier weighted crankbaits. Many of the crankbaits I like to throw are half an ounce. And sometimes the medium moderate action rods, that's their max, and I didn't want to be throwing it on there. Now I do have a number 8 factory blackout 7.3 medium moderate action rod on the way that I'm going to actually use for the lighter crankbaits, a 1/2 or half ounce down, and also jerk baits. But the one I throw this one on, like I said, is a medium fast action rod with a 6:4 to 1 reel ratio and on 12-pound fluorocarbon. Now you can use monofilament for crankbaits. You just realize that you're going to be not getting down to the desired depth, which is sometimes it's great. I have used my topwater rod on these KVD 2.5s, and with the monofilament that is on there, it will actually keep them up a little bit easier, and you can use them as wake baits, or then they're going to be going 3 feet down instead of 5, anything like that. So that all depends on you, but the majority of people like throwing fluorocarbon with these so that they get down to the desired depth. So anyways, thank you. Hit like, subscribe, please. I'm going to be doing a few different videos other than fishing in the next few weeks. Probably a transfer case change out on a 98 Jeep XJ. Also some DIYs with other vehicles. So thank you. And like I said, hit like, subscribe. Have a good day.